Hiya, folks. If you're new in town, don't be shy and just stand by. Let me explain to you how this works. Feeling bored or lonely and you need someone to watch cartoons with? Then look no further, because I'm here to play in your ear. You can listen to the podcast alone or alongside the cartoon. The choice is yours. Either way, let's get to Toon Along. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Toon Along. It's Sunday night for me. You know what? I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, Sunday night, just like kicking back, relaxing. You know, you got the week ahead of you. You're looking ahead of the horizons. You don't know what's you don't know what's going to come on your Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. But you know that you have a choice, and that you can sit down and just watch some cartoons, and you can watch some Sunday night cartoons. And I think I got a good one. I think this one's made more for a Friday night, but if you're going to watch it on a Sunday night, it's quite all right as well. So we're going to watch Undergrads, Season 1, Episode 1, and this episode is called Party. So whenever you guys are ready, if you found the episode, give it a shot, all right? I got here 21 minutes, 36 seconds. We're going to start it off, all right, in 3, 2, 1, play. And we got a house. They're zooming in. There's a board game. Looks like Risk. Playing around, all right. So this is Season 1, Episode 1. And I can only imagine... this show, a show like Undergrads, being about university students, the lifestyles in university, the lifestyles of a college undergrad, as the show says. And right now they're playing a game of Risk, classic, I don't know, I want to say nerdy. Every time I think of long board games that are going to take hours and hours, I say nerdy, but, there's nothing bad about it. I love those games. Honestly, I used to play, I love that Star Wars reference right there. A galaxy far, far away. So what? So these guys are all friends, and now they get to university, and they're trying to chat and talk to each other. But I feel like they're so different in nature that it's so awkward that they're friends. I feel like they would have their own friends that would be so similar. But look, they've been friends since birth. They're showing the intro, and you can see a little bit of the history of the characters. But yeah, even hearing the intro song just screams out American Pie. One of those Blink-182, some 41 songs from the 90s. I'm going to college, bro. You just gotta bear with it. I'm gonna be banging some chicks. I'm gonna be hanging out with my bras, and this is the show I'm gonna be watching. That's such a small school. I don't know. I'm gonna just give it the benefit of the doubt. That's just the dorm. If that was a school, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, he's not at the same university. He's at Techerson Tech, which looked like a U.S. military base. It actually looked very much like the military base from Grand Theft Auto 5. Ha! He's got a punching bag of he's got a Star Trek punching bag. He's supposed to be the Star Wars geek, and he hates Star Trek. I don't know why do back in the day they always assumed people who like Star Wars hated Star Trek. I don't know, guys. Honestly, I don't know about the rivalry between the two. But if I had to guess, I would say that Star Trek geeks hate Star Wars geeks more, because honestly, I'm more of a Star Wars geek. I know Star Wars more, but I feel like Star Trek geeks are smarter. Like they know their universe, their world better than the Star Wars people. The Star Wars people just gollop it up. You're watching the new Star Wars movies. You're going crazy over them. You love them. But I feel like the Star Wars geeks are looking back going, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you people. But I don't know. I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love them all. I'm just not a big fan of the new Star Wars movies. I don't know. I think a lot of people have their beef with them. But what can you say? But this show does a good job of keeping the old Star Wars nostalgia. This would have been around, if you had a Darth Maul statue, this would have been around episode 1, right? I don't think episode 2 and 3 would have influenced this show. I think it would have just been episode 1, 2000, 1999, 2000. So you're looking at a very unique show made in a very unique time frame, time era. Even the fashion, look at the way they're dressed, look at the way they're acting, the things they're doing, they're integrating. That guy with his freaking bathrobe and his peace shirt. Look at this guy right here with the lip. His name is Johnny Lipman. Look at that girl just standing there on the right. I'm just going to hold my hip right here. Look good. I have a feeling the 90s fashion's going to come back. Like any other fashion, It comes and goes. It's a fad. It's a fashion. But yeah, just the classic stereotypical goatee, nightgown, slipper, all-day slipper wearer coming out, giving his voice. He's the guy that's going to, when he's not in university, he's the guy that's going to tell you, listen, I did a semester in psychology, so I know what I'm talking about. Just trying to see the personalities as best I can of all the characters, because for sure they're trying to poke fun at the culture of universities. They're trying to poke fun at the, just the absurdness, the ridiculousness of university. You're going there to learn. You're going there to study, and you're doing anything but that. And even in movies, TV shows. Anything from the 90s, you just look at all those shows and they just make college look really fun and make you want to go to it. And, like I said, the last thing you're doing is studying unless you're going to Harvard. Okay, yeah, Rocko definitely. Okay, Rocko's definitely reminded me of Stifler. He reminds me of Stifler and Chris Pontius from MTV's Jackass. Just, he looks like Chris Pontius, acts like Stifler, a bit of the mix of the two. And this guy here just reminds me of the main guy from American Pie, dating Michelle, the band camp attendee. Yeah, every character in this show has its moments from other 90s TV shows. It's very stereotypical. But the thing is, it came out for its time the way it came out. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it's one of the fresher takes. Like, what other cartoons came out in its time that did this? You got Clone High, but that's a high school, right? You got Daria, that's in high school as well. That's the late night era, the late night Friday night. I'm going to bed late tonight, so I'm gonna watch my tunes, and by God, it better be about me. That's what the thinking back then. Bye, Nitz. Yeah, it is a classic corridor. I even my high school had a corridor like that with a staircase coming down. The same thing. That's why I can relate. I think that's why a lot of people who've watched the show growing up really enjoyed it, really, really liked it. It was funny. It was it wasn't only about the cartoonness. Actually, there was nothing cartoony about it. It was all about the story. It was all about the university story, the different unique characters that they brought forward, from Nitz to Gimpy to that girl in the back, Rocko, Cal. There's one episode with Cal where he's in the bathroom and it sounds like he's jerking off. But then I don't know if they open the door or something, and he's holding a joystick. He's practicing, and he says, "I'm mastering my joystick, guy." Like, you hear that as a kid, you're laughing your ass off. You can watch this today and maybe not find it as funny. I get that because of, it's been done. But just try and imagine watching this. Just give it a chance. Watch it. And don't judge it too hard, because don't forget, when it came out, it was pushing boundaries. This show was definitely getting some attention in Canada anyway. I don't know how it was playing back in the United States. Or even if it did play, or on what channel it played, I don't know. But it definitely played up here, Teletoon at night. Teletoon for us in Canada, I want to say it was kind of like Nick at Night or Adult Swim. I want to say it's more like Adult Swim. More like Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. You had your anime at night, like Toonami and all that stuff. You had YTV. Not to say YTV didn't have its anime at night, but I just felt like Teletoon. This was Teletoon's show. Clone High. I don't know if that was Teletoon, but I feel like it was. Daria played on YTV, so I'll give it that. But I honestly feel like Daria on Teletoon would have made a lot of sense. But anyways, enough about those shows. Undergrads. Yeah, so if you're watching Undergrads, or if you're not watching Undergrads, or if you've never seen an episode, give it a chance. Only one season. Only one season. You don't got nothing to lose. And don't judge it too hard. It's from a different era. It's almost like a historical cartoon. 20, 30 years. this cartoon, people will watch it and they're going to think it's so childish. But in reality, for us, it was so mature. Like right now, Rocko just photocopying his ass on a photocopier. Kiss my ass. Imagine seeing that when you're a 9-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid. You go to school, you got that in the back of your mind while you're learning math and ABCs. He just handcuffed himself to a stop sign. Yeah, now I'm seeing similarities of Frank the Tank. Yeah, okay, Gimpy. He had his little buddy, and I remember in one episode his little buddy's supposed to be like an R2-D2. Whoa, that's supposed to be Kazoo. It was Kazoo from. I want to say he's from the Flintstones, but I feel like it would make more sense that he was from the Jetsons. Could I be wrong? I mean, he's futuristic, but I feel like he was from the Flintstones. Don't get me wrong. That's a cool homage. Oh, and there you go. There's a classic food court right there. Just looking at his food. Dude, you ordered it. You could have just looked at the menu and what everybody else was eating. But yeah, there's your classic food court, mall food court. Looks the same like every other TV show cartoon. Daria. The way it looks, the way it feels. Whoa, look at that X-Wing. If you get a chance, or if you didn't see, go back. Look at the TV screen in back of Gimpy. He had a 3D model of an X-Wing. And even as a kid growing up, I remember watching this show, getting so inspired by Gimpy. I think Gimpy was my favorite. Gimpy and Cal were my favorite characters. They made me laugh the most. Cal made me laugh the most. Yeah, just the dumbness of it. I feel like Cal was more like Stifler in a way. But he's so dumb. Classic college jock, doesn't know shit. But he wasn't even a jock. He was more like a porn addict jock kind of guy. And she's supposed to be like the nice girl, pretty girl, Mary Jane. But yeah, just watching the show. Can you imagine watching a show in the 90s? Like, okay, it's Friday night. Imagine it's Friday night. You come home. You just had your day at school. You come home. You watch SpongeBob. You watch YTV, The Zone. You're watching, Beast Wars reboot. It's starting to get late. It's starting to get into the fringe of going to bed, fringe of tiredness. You're a 9, 10-year-old kid. If your parents, are on you, you're already in bed. But, Friday night there might be a little more lenient. And then, you're watching TV and then you catch this show at like 11:30. Or I want to say it played at 10:30. And, 10:30 for a 9-year-old back in the day was late. But for a Friday night, it's good times. I remember those Friday night movie, that was the only time I got to watch cartoons was, Monday to Friday. Monday to Thursday was like maybe an hour or two of cartoons a night. At most, like if I got to, or if it was a special event. But Friday was my night. Friday, you come home. Parents didn't really force you to do homework, but you did some to, get a good bonus marks, And then you're going downstairs. It's 7 o'clock. You just had dinner. You're going downstairs. Your parents are going out for picking up something. You're coming home. And now it's your time. You're going to sit down. What are you watching? Well, I guess I only had one choice. I was watching YTV. We had like 30 channels. And I was only allowed to watch 2. It was either Teletoon or YTV. And on Friday night, I just remember watching YTV, Hitless playing, Daria playing, getting bored, feeling but then Reboot plays, Beast Wars plays. Now you're starting to get my attention. And I got my toys with me. I'm playing, I'm drawing. And then it's late night. And then a show comes on, a show like Duckman. And you go, what the hell is this? Why doesn't this play during the week? Where did this show come from? And then you get a show like Undergrads. And then you turn it on, you get something like this, and you look in the background, and you have Star Wars characters on the shelves. And you got this crazy nerd guy making plans on his thing. I'm not even asking questions. I'm asking myself, how can I do that? How can I do that to my room? So bottom line, what I was getting to is the show inspires. And for a kid from the 90s, you're watching this. It's Friday night, maybe even Sunday night. I don't remember. But you're watching a show. But anyways, Sunday night for us. So if you're watching a show, try to get inspired. you're watching this. You want to have like 30 monitors on the side of your, side of your computer, side of your desk. You want to do like Gimpy, and just have a bunch of Star Wars paraphernalia everywhere. I feel like she's the hot, she's the nice friend, but I feel like she wants to bang him the most. He's missing out. Like, he's literally missing out. His whole college experience is standing right in front of him. And I don't even know, was she a friend? Was she a high school friend or anything? I wasn't paying attention. But they had the three Swedish girls. I don't know why, but in the 90s, it was always like a thing. It was always like Swedish chicks. Swedish chicks was always like a big thing. Not so much anymore. You don't see that anymore, that kind of reference on TV. But yeah, no. Watching this show, I don't know. I feel like you can put all the characters from American Pie in this show, and the artwork and the animation and the way it's drawn would have made for a good American Pie, the animated series. And now that I think about it, it's sounding more and more like a good idea. Yeah, why not just make American Pie, the animated series, use these guys to do the artwork and the animation? Just bring it back, let them redo it. Look, you got a hamburger that's talking, and he doesn't even look like he's a mascot. His freaking mouth is actually moving like a hamburger would. If you're a teen in the 90s and you had a little bowl, you smoked a little bowl, or you had a couple drugs, and you're sitting down and you're watching this show, and a hamburger started talking, and then now you're watching Mump TV with this little guy with his little glow stick and spin the bottles coming on. You're in heaven. You're in heaven. Look, you're watching. This girl shoves she shoves her tongue down his mouth. You're loving Friday nights. You're loving Friday nights. You're a kid. You don't know why, but it's a good night, and I don't blame you. It's a good night. You don't even question it. Watching this show back in the 90s, I wasn't asking any questions. I was just trying to laugh my ass off, try and find whatever moment I can. I'm waiting for my dad to yell down, go to bed. And he's going to yell it in the middle of an episode. He don't give no damn if it's, on the 30 or the hour mark. So usually what I would try and do is kind of go up and see him and see how he's doing and just be like, hey, Dad, how you doing? You had a good day? Yeah, hey, I'm just going to finish my show and I'll go to bed just because I really want to watch it. But my show's going to end in freaking 29 minutes. Just a little tip out there. But, it's Friday night, it's midnight, and you're watching Undergrads. And you're not asking, look, oh my God. So if you look at Cal right now, his crotch region is censored out. Like, you wouldn't notice it if you weren't looking or if you weren't, trying to scan the area. But it's freaking censored out. I'm just trying to think, what other show from the 90s, 2000s, or even today is using censorship in cartoons? I can think of one. There's that show, I forget the name of it, but it's the one with all the cartoons, and it's like a house theme, where it's supposed to be like a Big Brother with cartoons, and they have like the SpongeBob character, the Betty Boop character, the superhero, the pig who's like the porn mascot. Drawn Together, that's what it's called, Drawn Together. But yeah, just shows like that might have been the only two shows that I think I've seen censorship as a joke, other than maybe like Family Guy or American Dad, but not done in this way, if you know what I mean. Like, they do it so subtly, they know that, like, where are you going to look? You could have seen this whole episode, seen that scene, and never even noticed it unless you see it. Like, I'm scanning across every single shot. I'm trying to see details, trying to see what's in the background. But yeah, they're not even trying to make that joke to you. Because for them, it's not even a joke. It's part of the show. And if you notice it, then you get the joke. And you might be in a room full of 20 people, and maybe 8 people saw that, and they're laughing. So they're not trying to go for laughs. So that's one thing I like about this show. And if you did watch this show in the 90s, then you know what I'm talking about. It did have not necessarily a cult following, but it's been talked about. It was a show that wasn't ignored. People heard it. People saw it. People had the references. People had their moments. Maybe not as popular in forms of conversation with the average person, but my friends saw it, and their friends saw it, and I'm sure anybody that grew up in Canada in the 90s knows of the show. Maybe they don't remember exactly moments of it. Like me myself, I don't remember all the moments, but I do remember this show. But yeah, give me R2. Okay, he named his buddy R2. He's hanging out with the painting cult. Those guys look like painters. Oh, it didn't even dawn on me. That computer's supposed to be like one of those Mac computers. Those Macintosh computers, the big colorful ones, you picked your color. You imagine back then, it's the 90s. Think about it. You're in college. You don't have internet. Well, you barely have internet. You don't have social media. You don't have any of that stuff is what I mean. You're hanging out with friends. That's all you're doing. You're getting into mischief. You're bored. You look at him. He's lying in his room. He's bored, doesn't know what to do. Honestly, he's hanging out with this chick, this girl in his room, and he doesn't know what to do. And this guy's just trying to find his way. I feel like he's trying to find his way in university, trying to get that experience. But you got that girl right there. What are you doing? You know what they're missing? They're missing video games and Netflix. Jesse, we've known each other for like 5 hours. But she likes him. Come on, man. You're so dumb. Have they really known each other for 5 hours? So they're roommates? I feel like that would never happen in university. They do that? They pair like male and female and roommates? Just like that? So guys, is it cool? Okay, yeah, now, you know what? Growing up, I do remember Cal saying guy a whole lot. But it just dawned on me. I'm pretty sure that's a Canadian thing. In South Park, they always say, I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm not your guy, friend. So I wonder if that's actually a thing. But then again, like I said, I don't know if the Canadian, university cultural system was that, fraternic. I feel like the Americans did it a lot more than us. And this show just screams out American Pie. American Pie college reunion or something, do you remember that paper? If you guys, I don't know, if there's anybody out there that remembers those papers. Yeah, that's the end of the episode, guys. But yeah, you remember those papers out of the printer? They'd have those sidings you can rip off. I just remember ripping them off. Just not even drawing, just ripping those papers off. But yeah, that was Undergrads. Pretty good episode. Pretty good first episode. If you're watching the show, I feel like it's Daria in its way, where it's meant to be watched and relaxed, and it takes a while, it takes long, it takes time to get through the story, and you're meant to be watching it as with the story. Well, yeah, if you guys never watched this episode, give it a shot, give it a watch. Watch a few more. I really recommend maybe going online, checking out what the top undergrad episodes are, maybe the most iconic ones, and watching. Maybe if you want to watch only one, watch the most famous one, watch the most popular one. Definitely worth it. Clone High, another good show. Daria, like I said, Oblongs. I feel like all those could be put in that category. Late night teenager, you're about to go to university, or you just started university. One of those shows. You imagine you just start university. You don't want to leave your old cartoon world behind. So the cartoon world gives you a little something for you to enjoy, late at night when they know everyone's asleep and they're not going to be, parents aren't going to be pissed off and call in and complain. So, but today I feel like that's not even the case anymore. Kids just watch whatever, whenever. It's less about what time of the day it's playing. Of course, certain things, yeah, it still is, but just cartoons in general. I just feel like, with the addition of Netflix and all the subscription-based web streaming services, it's not that much of importance as to what time the episode plays. It doesn't even matter anymore. So, but just try and watch the episodes. If you guys are going to watch these old episodes, try and watch them on the nights when they used to play, or the times they used to play, and just get that moment. It's always fun to watch a Saturday morning cartoon on Saturday morning, or a late night cartoon at night. And, it's always fun to mix it up, too. It's nice to eat eggs at night, too, and eggs and breakfast and all day long. Right on? Right on? Here we go. Okay. So take care, guys, and have a good one. We'll be talking soon. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel, and check out for the next one, or watch the old ones if you haven't, and we'll be talking soon, all right? Take care now. Bye-bye.
You just listened to a Toon Along Podcast. If you like what you heard or have any comments or feedback, don't hesitate to check out more on iTunes, Spotify, and TuneIn Radio, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for more info. I'll see you next time. Ciao!